Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. Coconuts kill more people than sharks every year. Same with cows. Vending machines are actually twice as likely to kill you than a shark is. France was still executing people via guillotine when the first Star Wars film came out. There are more fake flamingos in the world than real ones. There are more tigers in Texas than the rest of the world. There's enough iron in your body to make a 3-inch nail. Beethoven and George Washington were alive at the same time. In fact, George Washington was in his 40s when Beethoven was born. There are more stars in space than there are grains of sand on every beach on Earth. It rains diamonds on Saturn and Jupiter. A buttload is an actual unit of measurement, equivalent to 126 gallons. Hit the plus sign if you want to learn more facts. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. A body decomposes 4 times faster in the water than on land. About 153,000 people worldwide die every day. Men who are hung get a death erection, known as rigor erectus. The Zoroastrian Parsi community in India offers its dead to vultures rather than burying or burning them. The Turritopsis dohrnii jellyfish is officially known as the only immortal creature in the world. It lives forever. Left-handed people die 3 years earlier than right-handed people. The catacombs of Paris hold the bones and remains of nearly 6 million people. Mice and rats can spread at least 35 different diseases to humans. These infections include salmonella, hantavirus, and rat bite fever. Babies grow mustaches in the womb that then spread to cover their entire body in the hair, called lanugo. The body hair keeps them warm and also helps regulate body temperature. And don't worry, they shed it for birth. Comment below which fact disturbed you. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. There used to be real human remains in the Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean ride. There are at least 200 corpses on Mount Everest. There is no physical evidence to say that today is Sunday. We all just have to trust that someone has kept count since the first one ever. The human brain not only named itself, but it also recognized that it named itself, and was surprised when it realized that. No one knows exactly how anesthesia works anytime they put you under for a routine operation. There's currently no scientific explanation for why you are unconscious. Hit the plus sign if these disturbed you. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. Hanging is the most preferred means of suicide in most parts of the world. Every year, car accidents kill 1.2 million people worldwide, in addition to 140,000 injured and 15,000 who will be handicapped for life. Between 1347 and 1352, the bubonic plague killed about 75 million worldwide, including a third of the entire population of Europe. In 1918, the flu virus killed between 21 million and 50 million people around the year, making it the deadliest virus in all human history. Since the AIDS pandemic began in 1985, over 22 million people have died from the disease. HIV infects more than 36 million people globally, so the death toll is expected to increase. Comment below which fact disturbed you. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. Assisted suicide, or physician aid in dying PAD, is legal in Washington, Oregon, California, Vermont, and Montana. The deadliest battle in all history is thought to be the Battle of Stalingrad between 1942 and 43, between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. Total casualties totaled around 2 million. Approximately 830 women die each day from pregnancy or childbirth-related complications all around the world. Most of these deaths occur in developing countries, and most could have been prevented. In 2013, a falling cow killed a 45-year-old Brazilian man. The cow had been grazing on the man's roof when the roof buckled. Both the man's wife, who was lying beside him, and the cow were unharmed. Every day, about 29,000 children, or 21 children a minute, die due to poverty. Comment below which fact disturbed you.
Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. Every minute, 300 million cells die in the human body. The last words of Thomas Edison were, "It is very beautiful over there." Instead of viewing death as a type of failure, many ancient people, such as the ancient Egyptians, believed death was one of life's many passages. In Cottage syndrome, living people believe themselves to be dead. Near-death experiences seem to be caused by dopamine and oxygen deprivation. In some green burial methods, you skip the embalming processes and get biodegradable, woven willow caskets, which decompose into the ground. In Madagascar there's Famadihana, where people dig up their dead every 5 to 7 years to take care of them. They re-wrap the dead, perfume them, dance with them, and share stories. Comment below what fact disturbed you.
Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. In January of 2017, a 100-foot asteroid named G13 passed by the planet. It was less than the distance of the moon, just barely missing our planet. Madame Tussauds, famous wax museum, is frightening and features real-life figures. However, she got her start by rushing over to grab heads from a guillotine during a French Revolution. She used these heads to showcase her waxing process. The Devil's Bible, also called the Codex Gigas, is a legendary Latin manuscript that's said to be the product of a monk's bargain with Satan himself. After a stroke of some sort of brain trauma, some people can develop prosopagnosia, also known as facial agnosia. This is when somebody loses the ability to recognize faces. In ancient England, people used the tops of hollowed human skulls to drink and eat. Which fact disturbed you? Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. There is a zombie fungus that basically enslaves ants for its own benefit until it kills them. A jellyfish mouth is also its anus. Men can get erections after they die. Your brain can play tricks on you to make you see monsters in the mirror, called the Troxler effect. Every time you swim in the ocean, you're basically bathing in a graveyard. Deer will lay on decaying corpses because they produce heat that the deer like. Basically, deer treat corpses as their personal sauna. If you want to dump a body, it can take up to 2 to 4 weeks to fully decompose if out in the open, but if you bury it in a casket, it can take up to 44 years. There's been multiple cases of people actually ended up being eaten by an escalator. There's a phenomenon in the Philippines of people being murdered after singing My Way by Frank Sinatra in karaoke bars. As a striker's saw cuts through the skull cap during an autopsy, the smell created is exactly like that of Fritos. Hit the plus sign if you want to learn more. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. In ancient Rome, some believed that drinking fresh warm blood would allow you to absorb another's power. Blood was also thought to potentially cure epilepsy. In the 1600s, John French, an alchemist, tried creating an elixir for longevity of life. He mixed brain matter and horse manure for 6 months until it liquefied and he drank it. The film Child's Play was actually based on a strange doll from back in 1904 when gifted to a boy, Robert Eugene Otto. The doll is supposed to be haunted and even responsible for murders. Dentures back in the 1800s were actually comprised of teeth from deceased people, usually soldiers. There are certain antidepressants that have been known to eliminate somebody's ability to feel any love and compassion at all. In the 1960s, Disneyland contracted UCLA Medical Department for real skeletons used in anatomy classrooms to use for their Pirates of the Caribbean ride, since at the time, fake skeletons did not look real enough. There's speculation that there are still some real skeletons there. Which fact most disturbed you? Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. It has been said that some supermarkets package meat with carbon monoxide to preserve the product color and freshness. 2 million tons of human waste are dumped into our water resources every single day. There's an insect called the tree lobster. It is the size of a human hand and can be found in Balls Pyramid Island, Australia. Crows are so intelligent, they are able to recognize human faces. Phantom time hypothesis says that Anno Domini dating system is made up, and between 614 and 911, there was no human history at all. The Japanese giant hornet's venom is so powerful it can dissolve human flesh. Which fact most disturbed you? Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. Spiders are not able to chew. They insert their poison fluid into their victims' bodies until it melts off. Then they suck it. In The Little Mermaid, Ariel was originally supposed to die. Crucifixion is still an official death penalty in Sudan. Every 40 seconds in the world, somebody commits suicide. Every year in the US, 300,000 people will die due to obesity or complications from obesity. There are more than 1 million earthquakes every year. Some are so small you would never know. Which fact most disturbed you? Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. Salt water only takes 10 minutes to drown you. Eskimo mothers suck the snot from their babies' noses. Bananas can be radioactive. 20% of coffee mugs contain fecal matter. The human head remains conscious after decapitation. Humans shed 40 pounds of skin in their life. Bull sharks can adapt to fresh water. We breathe in a liter of farts every day. There is human remains all around Disneyland. The haunted houses is filled with scattered ashes. Comment on this video and let me know which fact is the most disturbing. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. At any time without any warning, you can die of a brain aneurysm, and there's literally nothing you can really do about it. Anybody can have one. In the event of a water landing, flight attendants are specifically required to not allow dead bodies on the life raft. No saving your dead parent's child's spouse for burial. Your digestive system is one long unbroken tube from mouth to anus with a sphincter muscle on each end. Basically, your mouth is just the other side of your butthole. Atomic bombs leave shadows after evaporating the victims. Necropedoscatosadomasochist is a thing. No, I'm not going to show you, or go into more detail. A butter knife can cut off a finger, with enough perseverance. Comment on this video and let me know which fact is the most disturbing. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. Human tastes like veal, and taste different depending on what part you eat, similar to pigs or cows. During the Hillsborough disaster of 1989, the victims were so closely packed together that many of them died standing up. Many pets die because their owner dies unexpectedly and nobody comes to check on them in time. Burned human flesh smells like pork. In some cultures, they practice cannibalistic rituals. They believe eating their deceased loved ones is an honor. I have heard that bears don't kill you. They basically eat you alive and you eventually die. Cyanide tastes sweet. Comment on this video and let me know which fact is the most disturbing. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. You have to have life insurance policy for 2 years before they'll pay out for a suicide. Brain-eating amoeba exist, and you can contract it from swimming in lakes or tainted tap water. They live in the US and UK. Female dragonflies fake their own death to prevent rape. Before modern medicine, there was this illness called mercy. Basically, if you had it, you were puking your own feces and you were sure to die in great pain. It is caused by obstruction in intestines. Most people trapped in the Titanic as it went under did not die of drowning. Rather, they were killed by water blasting into the ship's hull at great speed. At those pressures, the water would cut and crush you before it even had the chance to enter your body. Death by strangulation can turn teeth pink. The stress on the pulp chambers causes it to hemorrhage, so the blood colors the inside. Comment on this video and let me know which fact is the most disturbing. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. You can die from pooping too hard. The dolphin from the television show Flipper committed suicide. The astronauts of Space Shuttle Challenger didn't die until the spacecraft hit the ocean. They fell through the air for almost 3 minutes. When they embalm people, they just dump all the juices in the sewer. With a proper vacuum system, the human body can be drained of all its blood in just 11 seconds. Before being born, shark fetuses fight each other to live, not having enough nutrition supply for both of them. After developing enough, they begin to battle, and the winner gets to eat their sibling and its supply. After a little bit of being burnt alive, you will have sustained enough nerve damage to not feel any pain before dying shortly. Comment on this video and let me know which fact is the most disturbing. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. If you electrocute someone while they are submerged in water, it won't leave burn marks. If bodies are kept in coffins and they are sealed tight enough, such as in the wall type of memorial, sometimes gases can build up that the body basically explodes and can spill out onto the ground. The human brain looks far more white and pink when it gets ejected from the skull. An adult human body impacting on concrete does not sound organic or wet. It sounds more of a car accident than anything else. You can tell someone is dead by trying to move their jaw. It's one of the first body parts to show signs of rigidity. In the Middle Ages, you could be boiled in a pot of lead for certain crimes. Comment on this video and let me know which fact is the most disturbing. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. Your hair and nails will appear to keep growing a little bit after you die. When a body decays in water, a substance that looks like soap buildup can slowly form on the body called corpse wax. Your remains can be turned into a vinyl record, a diamond, or even a tree after you've died. If a body is left to decompose in consistent 50-degree weather, it can reach a skeletal state in as little as 4 months. Some people suffer from a real syndrome where they believe they are already dead, or they don't exist at all. The leading cause of death include heart disease, accidental poisoning, and car accidents. It is absolutely possible to die from fatal water overdose, aka from drinking too much water. Crime investigators used to believe that the image of a murderer could be captured in a victim's eye, kind of like film on a camera, and stay there after they've died. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. This is what the hooves of a newborn foal look like. Undertakers use contact lenses with tiny hooks in them to keep the eyes of dead people shut. A body farm is a designated place where criminologists and scientists leave human corpses around in order to study how they decay under various conditions. In the Czech Republic, there is a church that is decorated with the bones of 10,000 dead people. In Siberia last year, they found a bag of 27 chopped off hands. Nobody knows where they came from. The first orifice an embryo develops is the anus. Your heart pumps with so much pressure that your blood could squirt 10 meters or 32 feet high out of your body. The combined length of your intestines and stomach, more than 25 feet, would be long enough for you to use to easily rappel from the third floor. During the First and Second World War, fingers were used for reconstructing noses. The patients got a new nose but lost a finger in return. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. The youngest inmate to have died at Kingston Pen, which is Canada's first prison, was 9 years old. He died of tuberculosis, and his crime was larceny in 1857. A typical jar of peanut butter contains 10 or more rodent hairs, averaging 1 or more rodent hairs per 100 grams. Dr. Seuss actually cheated on his wife, Helen Palmer, who was sick with cancer. She then killed herself by overdosing on barbiturates. Russia and Pluto have about the same surface area. The 2 times Snickers bar is really only 1.5 Snickers. At the age of 25 years is when your body stops producing cells faster than it can replace them, meaning your body begins dying very slowly and breaking down. There's a slight chance you could die from spontaneously combusting. Thousands of people die every year due to doctors' sloppy handwriting on prescriptions. Forensic scientists can tell when and sometimes how someone has died by looking at the type of insects that have begun to gather in and around a dead body. Your eyeballs will flatten soon after you die. Hit the plus sign if you want to learn more facts. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. If you were to be pulled into a black hole, the point of gravity from your head to your toes is so powerfully different that the closer you get, they start to stretch and pull apart. It's called spaghettification. A body can swell to 3 times the normal size, especially if the person passes away in a bathtub. In the 1800s, photographing posed dead bodies was a very normal practice. The smell of vomit actually comes from butyric acid, as does the smell of Parmesan cheese. If you shine a flashlight or smartphone on a newborn sea turtle for too long, it will start crawling around in circles, known as the ring of death. It means that the turtle's eyesight has been permanently damaged due to mistaking your lights for the moon that guides it to sea, and by doing this, you have doomed that sea turtle to death right after birth. The bacteria in gingivitis is contagious. Be careful who you kiss. Armadillos can carry leprosy and pass it onto humans just by being in proximity. When it comes to heart disease, sometimes the very first symptom is sudden death, meaning you could be perfectly healthy and drop dead because you had heart disease and did not know it. The wondrous smell you get while cutting grass is actually a chemical distress signal. You're smelling the silent screams of your lawn. The outside of your eye prevents your immune system from ever knowing about the inside of your eye. If a puncture allows the two to meet, your immune system may attack and destroy your eye as an invader. Hit the plus sign if you want to learn more facts. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. When whales reach a certain age, they will eventually be too weak to swim back to the surface for air, so they will just suffocate to death and eventually sink to the bottom of the ocean. When you die, you will be aware that you are dead until the moment your brain fully ceases function. When getting laser eye surgery, you can smell the parts of your eyes being shaved down. During the French Revolution, where the guillotine was introduced, the people to be executed fought to be first, as the blade would dull after multiple uses, and wouldn't cut a head clean off at the first attempt. If you're male, after you die, your loved ones can have a doctor electrocute your prostate to force you to ejaculate for sperm. Humans have enough bite power to bite off their own finger, bone and all. The only thing stopping us is our brain's natural safety factor. A deceased human body can take between 24 to 48 hours to decompress, releasing the remaining blood, urine, and fecal matter, depending on the situation, position, and method of death. If you die on a submarine, they put your body in the fridge with all the food. If not, up a torpedo tube. It's actually common that corpses will periodically burp, fart, gasp, groan as gases escape through the mouth and anus. When you get burned by electricity, it actually leaves marks shaped like lightning on your skin. Hit the plus sign if you want to learn more facts. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. If bees were paid minimum wage for their labor, a jar of honey would cost around $182,000. There are some really strange similarities between Lincoln assassination and the Kennedy assassination. Oxford University is actually older than the Aztec Empire and the printing press. If you think about it, the brain named itself. If two babies are conceived at the same time, but one is born 2 months prematurely, that baby will be 2 months older than the other baby. The difference between 1 million seconds and 1 trillion seconds is almost 40,000 years. The fact that the moon, as viewed from Earth, appears almost exactly the same size as the sun during a solar eclipse is a complete coincidence of the cosmos. John Tyler was the country's 10th president. He was born in the 1700s and he has 2 living grandchildren. Jimi Hendrix and George Handel lived right next door to each other. During your lifetime, you will produce enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools. Hit the plus sign if you want to learn more facts. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. In 1939, 835 sheep in the US were killed by a single lightning strike. Apollo 11 only had around 15 to 20 seconds of fuel left when it finally landed. Today, your body is almost completely composed of different atoms than it was a year ago. You were once the youngest person alive. The Great Pyramids were older to Cleopatra than Cleopatra is to us. There are more atoms in a single glass of water than there are glasses of water in every ocean on Earth. However, there are more possible versions of shuffled standard deck of cards than there are atoms on Earth. The person closest to your right is the person farthest to your left. Barack Obama has won more Grammy Awards than Katy Perry. Someone who studies atoms is just a bunch of atoms trying to understand itself. Hit the plus sign if you want to learn more facts. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. Scaphism was an ancient form of torture and execution where you'd cover somebody with honey, stick them in a hollowed log, and let nature run its course. Pine trees have proven that they can grow inside the body. More than 80 million bacteria are exchanged in a single kiss. There might be a haunted Russian radio station. UVB-76 is a low-frequency radio station that has been broadcasting since 1982. The Japanese giant hornet has venom so powerful, it's said to melt human flesh. Hit the plus sign for more scary stories. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. Humans on average shed around 100 plus pounds of skin in their lifetime. Your cell phone has 10 times more bacteria on it than the average public restroom. Horned lizards squirt blood from their eyes as a defense mechanism. Locked-in syndrome is being trapped in a coma-like state and being fully aware of it. It's speculated that cats can sense when you're dying. Hit the plus sign for more scary videos. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. The FDA allows small amounts of rat droppings in candy bars. Butterflies have been known to drink blood. Thanks to pregnancy, the average number of skeletons in a human body is greater than 1. If you live to become the oldest person alive, the entire human population has been replaced in your lifetime. Except you. Genghis Khan killed so many people in his wake that the farmlands they had used returned to being forest. He did this at such a scale that it actually significantly reduced carbon in the atmosphere. Hit the plus sign if you learned something. Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. A Colombian woman carried a mummified fetus in her uterus for 40 years. Humans have a primal gaze-detecting system that can sense when someone is looking at you, even if not directly. Siberian bears sometimes dig up dead bodies for food and use cemeteries as refrigerators. The TSA did not catch 95% of guns and other paraphernalia going through airports during a government-run experiment. The picture for your funeral program may have already been taken. Hit the plus sign if you learned something.